Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome back to Story Time. Happy Monday, and thank you for being here with us. I am glad that you're here. Welcome back. Another week awaits. Many great books await as well. Thank you so much for joining in, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you for being here. I hope that indeed you did have a lovely weekend. I did myself, and yeah, it was a good one. Soccer, relaxing, friends, everything all wrapped in one. Thank you so much for joining in, and yes, I hope that you had an equally good weekend, or an even better one indeed. Thank you so much for being here on Story Time, and today we bring back another one from one of our good friends, a very good friend of mine, MEENAL Patel, and this one is called PRIYA Dreams of Marigolds and Masala, and this one will be coming up very shortly. Written and illustrated by MEENAL Patel. And of course, if you want to find out more about MEENAL, please go on ahead to MEENALPatelstudio.com, and you find a lot more, including prints like I'll be showing you later on that MEENAL does. So thank you so much for being here, and also just a teaser, look out for a brand new book coming from MEENAL very, very shortly. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time, and welcome. Please, as always, let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. It is always a pleasure to be here together. Thank you indeed, and happy Monday wherever you are, and I hope that it is a good one. And of course, before you go to anything else, we do have a story to read together. Thanks so much for being here with us on Story Time. Good morning to you, Amanda West. Thank you for joining us, and you're saying happy Monday, Sarah and Nathan. Thank you so much for being here with us. Indy, good morning to you, Indy, now in sunny and cool Illinois. Thank you so much for joining in, and I saw too that there's lots of fun being had in Illinois. Thank you so much for being here, and indeed we hope that we can give you a good boost for the week. Thank you so much for being here. One more time, Nathan and Sarah, hugs to you. Thank you so much for being here with us, and everybody else that is joining us now for the live, please let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you, so we can indeed say hi to you. And of course, if you join us for the recordings later on, please do leave us a message so we know you were here and we can say hi to you next time too. Thank you so much for joining us on Story Time out in sunny Illinois. Nathan, Sarah, Indy, and of course Amanda West. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Good morning to you, April. How are you doing today? I hope that your school year has been going well. And of course, Jemison, Alicia, Lindley, and Lauren, thank you so much for joining in too. Thank you. It is indeed full house out in Orange County. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy Jewish New Year indeed. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for sharing that little bit as well, and indeed reminding all of us here. Thank you. Appreciate that. And what happens on Jewish New Year? Please share a little bit more. What happens? What do you do? Are there fireworks too? Thank you so much for joining in. Looking forward to more comments from you, of course. Thank you for being here. Lauren, thank you for being here. Lindley, Alicia, Jemison, and of course, April. Thank you so much for joining in story time today. We hope that you have your snack, you have everything ready that will make this story time even better. Thank you so much for joining in today on story time. Good morning to you, Soraya. How are you doing? Get ready to head to the airport to go on a work trip with mom. Oh my goodness. Please tag me along in that suitcase. Thank you so much for joining in. Enjoy it. I'm flying business class too. Thank you so much. And yes, enjoy the experience. Yes, to you, Sharon Lungo, I hope that your work trip is awesome too. And how can it not be with Soraya tagging along? Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. Absolutely love it that we are here together. And of course, we're gathered today for PRIYA Dreams of Marigolds and Masala. And this one is coming from MEENAL Patel, written and illustrated by MEENAL Patel. And of course, a big thank you indeed to MEENAL Patel for allowing us to share this lovely, lovely book here on Storytime. Thank you so much for being here with us. Absolutely appreciate you. Please get ready, get comfortable, get cozy, and join me on the other side of this short break when we are back for our story for today. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go grab your snack right now and come back after this short break so we can get started with our story.
I'm MEENAL Patel, and I am an artist, designer, and the author and illustrator of PRIYA Dreams of Marigolds and Masala, and you are watching Storytime with Mr. Lamada.
Thank you indeed, MEENAL Patel, and do check out MEENAL Patel at MEENALPatelstudio.com, and you can find out a lot more information from there. And before we get started too with our story proper, I'm going to just read the author's note for today, just to go back and just to give us a little more background into this story, a little more to hold on to this story. All right, here we go. Author's note. MEENAL says, I am an Indian American woman. I was born and raised in the United States, but my family is from Gujarat, India. When I went to India as an adult, I was struck by how it was both foreign and familiar to me. Many things that were a part of my childhood home growing up felt so different from others in the United States, but turned out to be so common in India. I kept seeing marigold garlands strung up, and it reminded me of my ba. When she lived with us in the United States, she would pick marigolds from our garden every morning to put in our mandir. I recognized the abundance of marigolds in India as a beautiful piece of my family's identity that we carried in our everyday lives. There were so many things like this: mandirs, images of familiar gods and goddesses, the rustling of saris, the smell of char, all of these things that made me feel different in the United States were unnecessary to explain in India. They were a part of everyday life. I had a wonderful life as a child, but I put up wars between all of my identities because I was afraid of being different. It wasn't until I was an adult that I realized how important it is to allow all parts of my identity to mix, to share all parts of me with people. I hope this book inspires kids to take pride in all their identities, all the unique threads that come together to make them who they are. I hope it inspires them to share their own unique cultures and to be curious about other cultures. Isn't that beautiful? I just thought we should start with that today because I think MEENAL touches on so many beautiful things in there about our identity. And indeed, as she says, she hopes that this book inspires children, kids out there, to take pride in all their identity. Yes, everything that makes us so beautiful and complex. All the unique threads that come together to make them who they are. Yes, things that make you who you are. I hope it inspires them to share their own unique cultures and to be curious about other cultures. All right, here we go with our story for today now. And just quickly, let us see who joined in. Who was here? Pamela Courtney. Thank you so much for joining in. Braylon and Chad. Braylon and Pam. Thank you. Just the two of you today. Well, thank you so much for joining in. Story time. Appreciate you. And Braylon, good to see you back. Hopefully you're feeling a lot stronger and back. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are right on time. Thank you for joining us out in Nakitosh, Louisiana. I hope you're able to catch a little bit of that back matter. Here we go. Minal's drawings are just amazing. Illustrations just amazing, and I hope that you enjoy them with together with the story. Yeah. And just those end papers that are just so beautiful and colorful. PRIYA Dreams of Marigolds and Masala. This one is written and illustrated by MEENAL Patel. And of course, it is published in conjunction with BEAVER'S POND Press. Here we go. This house is on a small street in a small city in the United States. It is the only house on the street with an Indian family. It is the only house on the street that has a garland of bright orange marigolds hanging in the doorway. It is the only house on the street with a family inside who passes around Rotley for dinner. It's the only house on the street where an old woman emerges in a colorful sari to pick marigolds from the garden. Yes, this house is on a small street in a small city in the United States. PRIYA rushes into the house after school. She hears the clang of metal pots and smells simmering spices. What is that smell of your home? What is that familiar smell that you come back to? Barbie Bar has already started cooking dinner, but she always waits for PRIYA to help her make roti. And I should have too. There's a glossary at the back. I should have started with that as well, so we can explain some of those little bits in there. The kids at school didn't know what rotli was until PRIYA explained it's a type of flatbread from India. Barbie Bar mixes the flour, water, and ghee to form a long rope of dough. PRIYA pinches off little pieces and rolls them into balls between her palms. Barbie Bar quickly rolls the balls out thin and round before cooking them on the stove and drizzling them with ghee. They do this together every day. And every day, PRIYA asks Barbie Bar, "What's India like?" Yes, indeed. What's India like? Barbie Bar tells her India is the smell of roasted cumin and of the masala at the spice market that tickles your nose. It does. Yes. Barbie Bar tells her India is the smell of roasted cumin and the masala at the spice market that tickles your nose. It's the sound of motorbikes wheezing by, mixed with the beep beep of the tuk-tuk and the moo of the cow. Yes. What's India like? It's the sound of motorbikes wheezing by, mixed with the beep beep of the tuk-tuk and the moo of a cow. It's the arches and domes of buildings and the grit of the streets. Yes. It's the arches and domes of the buildings and the grit of the streets. It's the hot sun on your face and the drenching monsoon rain. Aw. It's the rainbow of saris stacked to the ceiling in a shop and quiet swish swish of a sari with every step. Aren't those colors beautiful? Yes. What's India like? It's the rainbow of saris stacked to the ceiling in a shop and quiet swish swish of a sari with every step. It's the taste of a steaming cup of cha that the chawala hands you and the warmth of his smile. Oh. Oh, we could do with some cha right now, isn't it? It's the hustle and bustle of the crowds of people going this way and that, and the mix of beliefs and traditions they carry with them. Oh, yes. It's the hustle and bustle of crowds, of people going this way and that, and the mix of beliefs and traditions they carry with them. Oh. It's the marigolds strung up on the storefronts and the doorways of homes. It's the marigolds strung up on the storefronts and the doorways of homes. Priya asks Babiba, "Will you take me to India?" Babiba replies, "Maybe one day we will be able to go there." Priya thinks for a moment. "Do you miss it?" "Sometimes, yes. But then I remind myself that India is here in the marigolds from our garden and the smell of roasted cumin. And the swish swish of your sari," Priya adds. Yes, indeed, Babiba smiles. India is with us in the things that we do every day. Oh. Yes, indeed. India is with us in the things that we do every day. Oh, almost forgot the page. They sit down for dinner with the whole family and pass the rotli. Oh. In the winter, when it snows, Priya notices that Babiba doesn't go out in the morning because there are no marigolds to pick. Priya wonders if this makes Babiba miss India even more. No. Priya wonders if not having the marigolds in the morning makes Babiba miss India even more. The next day at school, Priya makes little orange marigolds out of paper during art class. When the class crowds around to see what she is doing, she tells them about the marigolds and the masala and the beep beep of the tuk-tuk. One by one, they join in to make the longest garland of marigolds that Priya has ever seen. Aww. Aren't those beautiful? Babiba's face lights up when she sees the garland of paper marigolds hung up in the doorway. Priya says, "The kids at school were excited to hear about India and they helped me make the garland." Babiba's smile grows even bigger and she gathers Priya up in her arms and says, "Sharing India with others is the very best way to carry it with you." Aww. Yes, indeed. Sharing India with others is the very best way to carry it with you. Halfway across the globe is a house on a small street in a small city in Gujarat, India. It's one of many houses on the street that has a garland of bright orange marigolds hanging in the doorway. It's one of the many houses on the street with a family inside who passes around rotely for dinner. It's one of the many houses on the street where an old woman emerges in a colorful sari to pick marigolds from the garden. And that is the end of our story, of course, taking back to a few of the words in there. And I hope that indeed, if you do find this book at your library or wherever you find books, that you get to read up a little bit more on the glossary, the pronunciation of the words, and of course, what they are, right? Let's take one, for example, here, cha, known as chai in other parts of India and South Asia. The word refers generally to many kinds of tea, but is often used in reference to a type of tea called masala cha, which is black tea brewed with spices and milk over a flame or stove top. So just one word there to explain to us. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. I love Meenal's work and indeed love this book so much. This one is called PRIYA Dreams of Marigolds and Masala. And again, I just want to go back. You know, this is a celebration of cultures in this book, a celebration of one's identity and a celebration of the complexity of those identities, of our identities, all of us. And I just want to go back to the last paragraph of the author's note and just read that one more time, just to remind ourselves as we go into this day today, to be proud of who we are and indeed to understand we are complex. And let us be curious about other cultures. Let us share our cultures as well. And that's what makes us beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. One more time. I had a wonderful life as a child, but I put up walls between all of my identities because I was afraid of being different. It wasn't until I was an adult that I realized how important it is to allow all parts of my identity to mix, to share all parts of me with people. I hope this book inspires kids to take pride in all their identities, all their unique threads that come together to make them who they are. I hope it inspires them to share their own unique cultures and to be curious about other cultures. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Please join me on the other side of this very short break. We'll be back for more Story Time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Lamada. Bye, everybody.
Indeed, the power of sharing our stories, and that's what makes an inclusive world. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and please continue to be curious about other cultures. Continue to share your own cultures. Continue to share your own identities, your complex identities in all their different forms, all their beautiful different forms. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. A very important story indeed. And like I said too, if you do go to MEENAL Patel Studio, you will be able to find this book and also oh my goodness, I'm blanking out on the last one, Nella San Francisco, I want to say. And that was the first one from MEENAL Patel. And of course, there's a brand new book coming as well. So stay tuned for that one. And also you'll be able to find prints, beautiful prints like this one that from MEENAL Patel. And they're just so wonderful. There's this one and There's another one here too. Right here, I'm just waiting to frame mine, and so yeah, I'm keeping the plastic on outside to make sure they stay protected. And of course, this one too of Babiba and Priya making the rotli. There you go. So many beautiful, beautiful prints that you can find, and of course, too, just wonderful book. Find it at your local library. We're back tomorrow again. Storytime is back. This time we'll be reading "I Will Come Back." Yes, yes. God willing, we're back here on Storytime, and we'll be reading this one from our friend here at Storytime, Paji Sotis, and this one is illustrated by Zinka Rack and Gabriela Alderman. So please do join us tomorrow for this one and hear about this military mom's story. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you. And before we go, just let us know who was with us, and thank you indeed for being here with us. Robin Lobo, thank you so much for being here on Storytime. Absolutely love it. And of course, I'll be seeing you at work very, very shortly. Thank you for being here with us, and I hope that indeed you do have a safe commute to work today. Thank you so much for being here, and yes, all these amazing books, all these amazing creators, big thank yous to them. And of course, thank you for appreciation. Absolutely love you, Robin Lovo. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you. I'm assuming that's Chad in the space with Spanish out there. Thank you so much. I am going to practice to read it, and of course, get back to you. Thank you so much for joining in today. Braylon, Auntie Pam, Auntie Ann, thank you so much for joining in. I hope that you are okay out in Nakitosh, Louisiana. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad that we are here together. Sharon Lungo, safe trip. And of course, Soraya, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed that beautiful story that we just read together. And this one is called Priya Dreams of Marigolds and Masala, a beautiful celebration of Indian culture, but indeed a beautiful celebration of all cultures, because it is only when we tell our stories that others can learn about them, that others can understand. And of course, if we stay curious about other cultures, that's the only way that we can be better citizens. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. And of course, we do want to create spaces that are welcoming for everybody. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Good morning to you one more time. April, Jemison, Alicia, Lindley, and Lauren, thank you so much. I hope that you do have a lovely day out today there in Orange County. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. And of course, good morning to you one more time, Nathan and Sarah, and of course, Indy. Thank you for joining us. Amanda West, thank you for joining us out in Illinois. Jamie, sending you love as well. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. This has been Storytime for today. This has been Storytime for this Monday. Beautiful Monday morning. I hope that you do have a lovely day. Please join us again tomorrow when we are back for more Storytime. And this time we'll be reading I Will Come Back. That's the hope. Storytime will be back here tomorrow. Join us. Please be here. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely love it. Lauren says, thank you for all the great content. Well, thank you, Lauren. Thank you indeed to all you parents out there, to all you adults, everybody that facilitates our little ones being here with us in the mornings, being here with us at any other times that are convenient to you, to join in Storytime, to continue to inspire each other, to read, continue to inspire each other, to share stories. And every story is important. Every culture is important. Every single person is important. Every complexity is beautiful and important. And yes, let us share our stories. Let us tell our stories so others don't tell them for us. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Please have yourselves a wonderful day, and we'll be back for more Storytime again tomorrow, right here, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Also remember, you can catch Storytime at your convenience anytime. Storytime with Mr. Lamada on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, you can catch us at storytimewithmrlamada.com. Thank you so much for being here. Much love from me. See you again tomorrow for more Storytime. Bye-bye.
Mr. Lamada, he will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada. where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing and soon. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely. Won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely. Won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.